So good afternoon, everyone. It has been a good hot almost 2 years since I last posted anything on my YouTube channel. And I just felt for a while I've been wanting to do tarot readings on my channel, but I was just very iffy about it. I even bought decks just to do this for my YouTube channel. But anyway, I just felt a strong urge to do a tarot reading today, and it's basically guidance for your week next week. So you basically choose one or three piles. So here's pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So meditate, choose whichever pile appeals to you, and I will, well, theoretically, I will give you your reading for next week. Okay, so if you chose pile 1, this is your guidance / insight for next week / advice. So for pile 1, I'm using the Deviant Moon, and for each other pile, I chose to take one card from the Divine Circus Oracle and one Oracle card from the Halloween Oracle. I don't care that Halloween is a few months away now since we're in 2022, but I don't care. I like the Halloween Oracle, and it was just really speaking to me, plus my little setup here, spooky vibes, what have you, plus it's my channel, so... Anyways, so you chose the pile 1, the Deviant Moon. So this is your current place. This represents you for next week. So in this case, you have play your hand from the Divine Circus Oracle. The challenge you're facing is Ghost in Reverse or Regret in Reverse. And an overview of your week is you have the Knight of Swords, the Three of Swords, upright, the 10 of Swords in reverse. Did you go through a recent breakup or something? No offense, but that's how it's looking so far. You have the 4 of Swords. What's with all these swords, pile 1? You have the 5 of Pentacles. Then let's see, you have the Hierophant. Oof. You have the Hanged Man upright. And you have the 8 of Wands upright. Okay, so I was not wanting these heavy vibes for you, pile 1, but seems next week what you'll be dealing with is you're going to want to take a chance on something. So, like, you want to take a chance, but you're kind of iffy that you might regret taking this chance, or you're indecisive of whether you'll regret it or not. However, according to the Oracle, the challenge is the regret is in reverse card, so I'm assuming this means you're not going to regret it. So looking at your other cards, so Knight of Swords. Swords is typically associated with air and communication. So you want to initiate the beginning steps of some type of communication, or that's what you're thinking about. However, you're worried that this communication might lead to heartache. And then you have the 10 of Swords in reverse. So you're scared it might be painful. And the first step might be the scariest, but that's not what I'm seeing with the 10 of Swords here in reverse. So it's a communication that is necessary to make. And, let's see, 4 of Swords. So I'm not sure if this was related to a relationship, a job. I'm not sure, because whatever this communication is, it's going to leave you exhausted, or for some reason it's going to exhaust you for one reason or another. We also have the 5 of Pentacles, and if you notice here, a woman seems to be seeking shelter, so she's trying to seek shelter, seek location, so trying to achieve peace of mind. And FYI, I'm going mostly intuitive here, so like discern them on your own, but that's how I read intuitively. And the Deviant Moon is excellent for that. So anyways, as I was saying, so you have this woman seeking shelter here. You have the Hierophant, which is normally associated with tradition, educational institutions, even marriage. So traditional routes. You have the Hanged Man, something is coming to a halt. You're cutting down something that you have sown, or to cut down something that you have sown. So what I'm seeing is that there's a communication that needs to happen, and whatever this communication is for you, the cards are saying it has brought you tremendous heartache, tremendous pain. So you need to take the steps to initiate that, and once you initiate that, as shown by the 10 of Swords in reverse, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. Forgive the French, but a hell of a lot better. So after you make that communication, yes, you're going to want to rest a bit. Maybe you're exhausted, just tired for a bit. That's what the Four of Swords is showing here. So just lay low a little, relax a bit, and just like find your peace is what the Five of Pentacles is suggesting to me. So just like seeking peace, seeking shelter. And what you'll probably find is perhaps you knew intuitively that this was a communication you needed to make. Perhaps it was a thought or a traditional thought that you had there that you felt conflicted with. That's what I'm getting from the Hierophant. But he's saying here that what you felt intuitively or in terms of tradition was perhaps the right way all along. And let's see, Hanged Man. And so let communicate what you need to communicate, and just let things like fall to the surface and just like chill a bit. And then from there you have the Eight of Wands. I'm not sure what comes after the Eight of Wands, but you're cutting something down, cutting something out. So like wands are associated with fire and emotion. So perhaps there's some type of emotion that will be cut out of the way or cut out from whatever you were dealing with previously. So in summary, what the cards are saying is that you're feeling debated or conflicted with some type of communication you need to make. Make the communication, because you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. And you'll find that once you communicate what needs to communicate, things are going to blow over and it'll be like nothing ever happened. So just chill and lay low for a bit. So I'm actually going to draw one more card. These are from an oracle called the Spiritual as Fuck Oracle card. Yes, you read that correctly, Spiritual as Fuck Oracle. No, I'm not sponsored, but these are very good at being to the point, blunt, and just summarizing what you're thinking. So what do you have to say for pile number one on what would make this week easier for them that guides them? What do you want to say to guide them? Oh, wow. Okay. So, I didn't want that many, but okay. So, loving is its own reward. Rise above your fuckheadedness. Worrying is negative prayer. Quit dimming your light for people with shitty ass mindsets. Hey, I'm not making these curse words up, okay? This is what the oracles are actually saying. You can't heal a wound by saying it's not there. Being weird as fuck is better than being boring as hell. Stay away from people who make you feel like you're hard to love. Your wound is probably not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. So, like, this communication can relate to work, it can relate to love. That's like for you to decide, whatever this conversation is. So basically, these are kind of reasserting what I'm telling you. So don't worry too much about what you're feeling inside, because what you feel inside is actually something that you should pay attention to, even if you think you might be sounding like really bitchy or like a real jerk or fuckhead, as the oracles are saying. But accept who you are, communicate what you're feeling, and even like if it were that it's just wounds from previous experiences, communicate it, because even though like it's not your fault you're wounded, it's still your responsibility to heal. So you need to make this communication in order to feel better about whatever it is that you're struggling with or trying to overcome. And that's what I have for you, pile one. So if you liked this pile reading, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And good luck with your communication. Alright, so if you chose pile number 2, as I was telling pile number 1 earlier, I chose an oracle card from the Divine Circus Oracle. So this card represents you for this coming week. I also chose one from the Halloween Oracle, and this represents your challenge or whatever it is you're trying to overcome this coming week. And if you chose these cards, I honestly can't tell you what these ones are called. I just know they're called tarot. I found these at a used bookstore. I paid 69 cents more or less. And all I know is that they're called tarot. In fact, I can show you the box if you like this deck. And again, this is not sponsored. I just got these from a used bookshop. So, all right. So your energies for the coming week. So you have the Hanged Man in reverse, Two of Wands in reverse, Eight of Swords in reverse, Judgment in reverse, King of Wands upright, Knight of Wands upright, Ten of Pentacles upright, and Two of Cups upright. So you are getting Her Wicked Ways from the Divine Circus Oracle. And what you're facing is death, or the eternal cycle begins here. Okay, so let's take a look here. Her Wicked Ways is normally associated with trying to overcome ideas or barriers of what people have told you. So here is Her Wicked Ways. But I'm going to read this one just so I'm making sure I'm communicating the correct thing to you, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. So just give me a moment here, pile number 2. Oh, shit. And again, forgive my strange setup here. This is the best I can do until I figure out a better setup for reading your tarot cards. Okay, so Her Wicked Ways, number 19. And no, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. I'm just going to take a peek to see what it is you need to know. Okay, so I'm just going to read you this paragraph. So, you are meant to shine bright, to be a sun, even in the cold and dark depths of winter, bringing warmth to the world. Some don't like the light. They want to freeze your enthusiasm, douse your creative fire, and rain on your parade. Don't let them. Shine your light with stubbornness and happiness. Defeat the Snow Queen and her wicked ways. So basically, based on what I'm seeing with these two right here, is pile number 2, you're going through a death and transformation cycle. So I don't know exactly what your past is like, but if you're anything like me, you probably have a history of people telling you you're not good enough. You're strange. No one cares about what you're interested in. And so you hear all these voices in your head, pile number 2, and you start to think, well, there's nothing special about me. That is far from the truth, and the cards are urging you, or at least the Oracle and the Death Oracle, are urging you to embrace who you are and what you are. Forget what everyone else has said in your past has said in your head. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you be the truest version of you. So ignore all those cruel things that people have told you in the past and let that die down. Let yourself transform and be reborn. And that's just with the Oracle card. So looking at your tarot cards, you have the Hanged Man in reverse. So that means that something is beginning to move forward. You have the Two of Wands in reverse. Wands is normally associated with an emotion. So again, like I'm going intuitive here. And so this guy right here, if you'll notice when it's side up, it looks as though these 2 wands are just slicing through him. So Two of Wands. Reflecting on this, I feel like it's going back to what I told you about words in the past. Wands are associated with emotion. So perhaps some type of pain, you're overcoming some type of pain that has happened in the past related to emotions. And with the Two of Wands in reverse, it's reinforcing the idea that you are overcoming those pains. So as guidance, overcome those pains and just let them move away and pass, move forward. Then you have Eight of Swords in reverse. So again, we're going intuitive here. So with this card, you know she's like framed in, but it's in reverse. So boxed in is what's coming into mind. So you're basically in a process, or you're in a period of trying to break away from what has been said to you in the past. So emotions that have hurt you in the past, you're breaking away from that. You're no longer boxed in or confined to those. Then you have judgment in reverse. Typically when someone says judgment or sees judgment, means a call needs to be made. Something needs to, like, the difference between justice and judgment is justice represents divine order, but in this case, exercise your own judgment. So typically, judgment. So with the judgment in reverse, what I'm getting is, again, it's going back to what people have told you in the past. They have judged you in the past, and the cards are saying, no longer let that hold you back. Move forward with your life. Be who you are. Then we have King of Wands. So next week is about being able to overcome those emotional barriers, those emotional burdens that have held you down, that have kept you boxed in. And it's about breaking away, moving forward, being able to communicate who you are. Yeah, communicating who you are. And let's see, Wands. No, okay, water is emotions. Wands is passion. So Wands are associated with fire. Okay, so yeah, have passion in who you are and move forward with who you are. And let's see. So I'm seeing here that the King of Wands and Knight of Wands, notice how they're facing each other here. So it's like they're meeting each other. So what I get is that you have been this Knight of Wands in your past pile number 2, and you're meeting with the King of Wands because you're transforming into that King of Wands. So it's like this Knight of Wands is transforming into this King of Wands. He is becoming this King of Wands. It can be male or female, it doesn't matter. So once you're able to achieve that, you're going to bear fruit. You have 10 of Pentacles here. So you need to overcome those emotional chains that have held you down. And when you're able to embrace all of who and what you are, all of what your interests were, you're going to find a beautiful union. This can be romantic, this can be with the self, but I'm interpreting this as embracing the self. And more so because you notice King of Wands and Knight of Wands are of the same suit. So we have the Two of Cups here, so it's like the two becoming one. So pile number 2, the cards are again just telling you, forget everything that people have told you in the past. This is what you're dealing with next week. You're looking back on what they've told you in the past and overcoming that and exercising your own judgment. This is who I am. This is who I'm transforming into. This is what your pile is about. So just transforming into that person. So the two becoming one. So the person you were in the past, maturing and growing into the person you are now and who you will become. So I'm also going to take some oracles / advice from a deck called the Spiritual as Fuck. Yes, that is correct. Spiritual as Fuck oracle. And these are very good at being blunt and to the point. So do you have any advice or opinions you wish to give to pile number 2? What do you want to say to pile number 2 to help better guide them for next week? Okay, so holy shit, you are enough. Dance like everyone can go fuck themselves. Your growth scares people who don't want to change. See, what am I telling you? What was I telling you? Courage is knowing it might hurt and doing it anyway. Stupidity is the same. That's why life is hard. Stop saying yes to shit you hate. Grab your own butt, love yourself. See, what did I tell you, pile number 2? Your wound is probably not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Stay away from people who make you feel like you're hard to love. So again, what all these are saying is you are enough. Embrace who you are. Embrace your interests. Embrace your passions. Embrace your unique. So I found out at the last minute that my video had stopped recording. So I'm not sure how far I got with you, pile number 2, but I need to review that. But basically, I drew some cards from an oracle called the Don't Fuck With Me Oracle deck, and they basically get, well, the Spiritual as Fuck, the Spiritual as Fuck Oracle deck. Did I say Don't Fuck With Me Oracle deck? Same thing, more or less. It was a Freudian slip. I was communicating your message for this reading from that deck, and basically, what your reading is all about is re-embracing the self. So re-embracing who you are, your interests, your passions, and forget everything everyone has told you in the past. Let that die. Be reborn and embrace all that you are. You are you were a Knight of Wands who is transforming into a King of Wands in this week. So embrace that. Let the two become one. So let the Knight of Wands and King of Wands become one person. Let yourself at long last become whole. That is what the cards are telling you. In addition, the Spiritualist Folk cards are saying, holy shit, you are enough. Dance like everyone else can go fuck themselves. Your growth scares people who don't want to change. Courage is knowing it might hurt and doing it anyway. Stupidity is the same. That's why life is hard. Stop saying yes to shit you hate. Grab your own butt, love yourself. Your wound is probably not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And stay away from people who make you feel like you're hard to love. So those were initially the ones that you got from the Spiritualist Folk Oracle deck. But there's one more I caught at the corner of my eye, and it says, integrity is the new black. So again, they're just reinforcing you. Embrace all that you are, embrace who you are, and just accept it and love everything you are about yourself. I hope you found this information useful, and I'll see you next week, pile number 2. Okay, so last but not least, pile number 3. You chose the Pumpkin Oracle deck. And for each pile, I chose one oracle card from the Divine Circus Oracle. This is basically to be a visual of your position for the coming week. I also chose one from the Halloween Oracle, which is basically a challenge or barrier trying to overcome this week as well. So let's begin. And again, this is all for fun, so take of it what you might. Alright, so you are playing the role of the Sacred Fool. No, this is not an insult, and I'll explain to you soon, but don't be offended because it doesn't mean you're quite the fool, okay? So the challenge you're overcoming is happiness in our hearts and homes, so the hearth. So then for your week ahead, you have the Five of Swords. And like I was telling pile 1 and pile 2, I read these intuitively, so like the traditional description might be different from the traditional, but again, I just go intuitive. So let's see, you have Five of Swords, the Hierophant, King of Cups, Six of Wands, Two of Pentacles, the Strength card in reverse, the Star in reverse, and the Nine of Swords upright. Okay, so we have Five of Swords upright, Hierophant upright, King of Cups in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse. So let's see. So the Sacred Fool is normally a sign associated with like a spiritual path or spiritual beginning. But I'm going to double check that for you pretty quick because I want to make sure I'm giving you the right info, but I'm almost positive that that's the case with the Sacred Fool. So let's see, 28, and no, I'm not going to read this entire thing to you. I'm just going to possibly read you the first paragraph, so... Okay, so, Sacred Fool, this is again from the Divine Circus Oracle. So, imagine a life free from concern about the opinions of other people. A life where you feel brave enough, free enough, trusting enough to play the fool. To make a choice even if it seems illogical, unreasonable, daring, or downright foolish. Cast aside sensible opinions and poker faces. The Sacred Fool invites you to live unafraid, to take a risk and step away from the confines of what seems sensible and logical in life. So I'm also going to look into the hearth, but I'm pretty sure it's straight to the point. Happiness in our hearts and in our homes. So I'm assuming and theorizing that you're finding peace with something that is perhaps a traditional path for you. But let's look at the hearth. Just give me a moment here. So the heart of every home, the fire that unites, winter's warmth centers, stories, love, and delight. So should the hearth card appear in your divination, you are being asked to look to your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your love fire and have it burning brightly. Make your relationships a priority. If there is conflict within your home and family, it is time to take concrete steps to address the issue for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. So, based on these two oracle cards, pile number 3, I'm guessing you're trying to make a decision of some sort that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. So this is what you're dealing with next week. So I'm looking at here 5 of Swords. Swords are normally associated with communication. The Hierophant, so 5 of Swords, upright, so normally associated with communication. Hierophant associated with tradition. King of Cups in reverse. So that's King of Cups in reverse. 6 of Wands in reverse. Sorry, this is the best I can do, pile number 3. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Strength in reverse. Star in reverse. And 9 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like you're trying to communicate something here. Something related to tradition, but we have the King of Cups here, so maybe you're actually debating something, pile number 3, that doesn't bring you necessarily emotional fulfillment. So, like normally when the King of Cups is upright, this is associated with emotional fulfillment, but you have it in the reverse. So I feel like you're juggling a communication or idea here that isn't exactly giving you fulfillment. Then 6 of Wands. Wands is normally associated with fire, so I'm just going to associate these cards with I am. So looking at this one, I feel like you're embracing something. You're embracing something and making a decision of some sort. Because the strength is reversed, normally someone would say that this is a bad thing, but I think you no longer need the strength to make this decision. You've already made the decision. The decision is made. It's basically finalized. Let's see. You have the Star in reverse. Normally the Star is associated with happiness. It's in the reverse, so unhappiness. So doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be unhappy. I just need to reflect on this a bit more. So I'm thinking, pile number 3, that you're making a decision that has been keeping you awake for a while, because notice how this person seems distressed. We're saying it's bringing you pain. I don't know exactly what it is. It could be job, it could be relationships. I don't quite know exactly, but let's look at this a bit further. So you're basically hold on. Here's just a bit complicated, so I need to look at something here. So I need to look closer at the 5 of Wands. So please bear with me, pile number 3. Where is pile number 3? Pile number 3. Five of Swords. And I have to keep looking at my camera, otherwise I'm afraid it'll stop recording, so. Be aware of conflicts with others, sharpen your sword as needed, or assume a defensive stance. In this matchup of minds, there can only be one winner. So I feel like you're trying to make a decision related to tradition, I believe Hierophant is also related to like marriage. So you're trying to make a decision related to something traditional. Thing though is, I would probably question pile number 3 is, does this really bring you fulfillment? Is this really what you desire? Because normally I would say go for it, but King of Cups has me kind of questioning, and you also have that Star card in reverse. So it's saying that you're losing strength for something, although you've already made a decision. So I think the cards are saying you, I would probably, they're guiding you to think about this decision a bit more, or whatever it is you're dealing with. They're urging you to think about it a bit more. I'm gonna have to look at the Sacred Fool again, so please bear with me. Because like, even though you have an idea of what it is you want, at the same time, whatever this is, it's not fulfilling that need you have, pile number 3. So, okay, so I feel like you're undecisive about something, pile number 3. And I think you're right. It doesn't go with whatever your tradition is or whatever your idea is for emotional fulfillment. So the cards are guiding you to, so I don't know when you're reading cut off pile number 3, but basically what I'm seeing here is there is a decision you're trying to make. This can be related to career, this can be related to marriage, it can be related to anything. And typically the Sacred Fool would urge you to go with, you know what's going on, you know what you want, so go with that. However, your reading ends with the 9 of Swords, and at the same time, you also have the Star in reverse. So I get the impression that your guidance for next week, pile number 3, is to think about this matter a bit more. Don't rush into it, because whatever it is, I don't think it's going to be a good decision for you, because it's not bringing you emotional fulfillment. So think about it, reflect upon it a bit more. I'm going to look at one more thing here. So 6 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I would think about this a bit more, because 6 of Wands in reverse normally is associated with victory, but it doesn't look promising. So take a step back, reflect upon it a bit more before deciding to move forward. So I'm going to draw some oracles, some spiritual guidance from the Spiritual as Fuck Oracle. And I do this because I find that these are terribly blunt and to the point. And perhaps it'll give us more clarity into what it is you're facing. So what advice do you have for pile number 3? What do you want pile number 3 to know? Okay, so no equals a full sentence. The moment you start acting like life is a blessing, it starts feeling like one. Don't be an ungrateful shit. And it's up to you to find beauty in the ugliest days. So I'm not sure, maybe you already made a decision that didn't bring you fulfillment, or you're on the verge of trying to make one. So I guess there's 2 ways you can determine this pile number 3. You can either refuse this decision and decide not to go through with it, or you can decide that, you know what, it is what it is, I'm just going to go with it, accept it, and love it and embrace it. So really, the cards are saying it's up to you to decide. Do you completely reject what you're going through, or do you embrace it fully and positively? And for you, I think I'm going to actually draw some star seeds, because I feel like this would apply to this situation. So this is Star Seeds Oracle, and it provides wisdom for spiritual growth. So do you have anything else or positive affirmations you want to say to pile number 3 to help them with what they're dealing with? Okay, so you have Ascension here, vibration. Anything else you want to say to pile number 3? Anything else you want to say to pile number 3? Okay, so I feel like this is going back to what we were saying about whatever it is you're facing or trying to decide upon pile number 3. You have to look at it 2 ways. Either completely reject it or accept it and just try seeing the beauty in it. Ascension. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. So if you're scared, know that you got this and that you are ascending. Vibration. Your vibration is being raised higher levels. You're connected to cosmic intelligence. So you know pile number 3. You know what the decision is. But again, there's 2 ways to perceive this decision. It's either a straight up no, or it's you see the beauty in it and fully embrace it. I once had a wise dream. Well, I once had a dream, and a wise woman in the dream once told me, it doesn't matter which path you take. What matters is how you perceive it to be. If you perceive your path to be positive, it's going to be positive. It's going to be beautiful. If you perceive it to be negative, it's going to be negative. It's going to be horrible. And all of that is how you shape your reality to be. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope this helps with whatever you're dealing with. And I hope to see you next week. Good luck, pile number 3. Okay, so I'm going to do one more thing for this video. So if you watched this far, thank you and congratulations. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to use the pendulum, and you can ask a yes or no question, and the pendulum will try to give a guidance and direction into whatever your question is. So again, this is all general. Don't take my word for it. Just follow your intuition and we'll see where it goes from there. So you can consider 3 questions, and for each question you're thinking about, the pendulum will hopefully give some guidance and better insight into what you're trying to decide. So what is your advice? Or okay, please give yes or no to okay, the answer, it's looking like for the first question is leaning towards maybe. So yes, no, maybe so. For question number 2, please. Answer for question number 2. It's yes. Your answer is yes. All right, thank you. And please provide an answer for question number 3. Okay, hold on. It's still, what's the word? Debilitating? It looks like the answer would be, it's looking like a no. Yeah, it looks like a no. So question number 3 is a no. Thank you. And the energies are now dismissed. And thank you for watching. I hope this has actually helped gain some clarity and insight for you. Take care until we meet again.